Okay, where's the blacksmith? There's the blacksmith. Hello, good sir. I would like to buy your finest, better stuff than what I've got. Alright, repair all. We want to buy you weapons. Crossbows. Oh, you haven't trained him up enough. There we go. Weapons. Okay, boltcaster. Oh wow, yeah, you've got a lot of resources for this. And that is significantly better than what you've got on.
I love mint chocolate. Nom nom nom.
Okay, so I think I just doubled, if not tripled, your DPS. I'm not entirely sure. Gotta remember to update your equipment. So I do have the legendary...
I think we were just, you know, working our way through the game and just mowing down mob after mob.
Yeah.
Was that a quack?
It was like a staff noise. Worth it though. I have no idea. Salvage everything. Oh, do I wanna? $57. Really? I can have swords. Swords are probably single-handed though. Make a better axe. We could try it. I mean, I've got a fair bit.
I always preferred one-handed swords versus two-handers because have you ever tried fighting with one or the other?
Yeah.
I never understood how you were supposed to have maneuverability with a two-handed sword. I know that they're two-handed for the express purpose of being heavier hitters. But the fact that your elbows and I think you almost have a more limited range of motion using a two-hander.
I have no idea which ones of these are one-handed or two-handed. That's unfortunate. So you wonder, do you like the wizard class at all? I've never played the wizard class. I could not tell you even if I wanted to.
For this game, I've only ever played, I think, a very little bit of the Witch Doctor.
New bracers.
Maybe Wizard. Wizard was more just Fire, Ice, Thunder, right?
Oops. Yeah, I don't know.
I ended up deciding on Demon Hunter because I like the aesthetic.
Okay, and equip. Bracers. Boots. Yeah, some of my old equipment is from, like, well past 10 levels ago. And it's like, yeah, I should probably toss that on. Not all of them are giving me damage ups, but that's okay. Near the bottom of the tooltip. Oh, okay. Really? That's worse. Oh. Oh, Grim Scythe damage, 13%. Eh.
Did I have to slot any gems into my things, or...?
You might have. I don't think it matters, though. Huh. Why are my current pants so much better? Is it really the sockets? No? Or it might actually be the sockets, now that I'm looking at it. Okay, whatever on that. Let's see, what's my belt? My belt is fine. Okay, so weapons. Near the bottom of the tooltip. I don't see a tooltip to begin with. I see it on my equipped stuff, but I don't see anything on new weapons. Because I see it on I see it on right, equipped, legendary two-handed axe. But when making a weapon, how do I even know? Because
Well, that requires level 58.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's a two-handed axe or a single-handed axe, apparently. Because they're not sorted into separate categories, and I see no means of, like, figuring it out just based on Exalted Galraki. Anvil symbol requires level 57. And, like, a picture of the axe. Press Y. Compare. Oh. Rare axe. Rare axe? Oh, there we go. Rare axe, axe. Two-handed axe. So the glorious fell axe. Okay, so two-handed sword. So this is the upgrade. More damage, more int, EXP on kill. Sure. There might be something I can do with that. Okay, so you wanted to slot gems?
I just wanted. Oop. Is it this? Yeah.
Oh, you have a... Oh, wait, no, that's the sword.
That's a sword.
That you haven't identified yet, but it doesn't matter because you don't use swords anyway.
I'm still wearing that, though. This could use a gemstone.
Yep. So go down to your gems box and just jam them in. Can I have my water?
Sure.
Water me.
That's already gemmed. Yeah, so I only really have one thing I need to apply gemstones to. Do I just click on it?
No, go down to the bag. Bag, bottom. Down. That's not down. Bottom.
Oh, this bag.
Yeah.
That has gems. Huh, the legendary gem. So,
Helm is cooldown reduction. Bonus XP. That would be useful for you.
That'd be good. Flawless topaz.
Don't.
No?
Don't go up to the gem guy. You can jam a bunch of those topazes together.
Oh. Where's the gem guy?
Over here.
Things are looking up, Martyr. There's barely anything left to kill.
How? Okay.
Talking to Covetous Shen.
Covetous Shen. About gems.
Okay. You want to combine... go down to the bottom of the list first.
Well, I have 3 out of 3 to do this. I want the topaz.
Yeah, I'm just saying you might be able to make more. Because you've got 7 flawless squares. So jam them all together.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you'll be able to just keep mashing A. What are you doing? Go.
I'm just looking.
Mash A.
Now I have too little. But I can do this.
Yep, so you can get 2 of those. I guess that's not... I was hoping you could get 3, because then you get the even higher tier. Keep pressing A shell.
Okay.
No reason to wait. There's no special animation.
I mean, I could see what I have for rubies.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's fine. If you want to mash them together. You just have to mash that A button faster. So small. People were calling me out for rushing you, but both of us tend to check out during management sections. I'm just more invested in it.
Okay, so I created one of those.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you've got any more.
Okay, but either way, I want to... Oh, I didn't even look at this.
Yeah, you've also got emeralds and amethysts.
So
there used to be sapphires, but it looks like they've gotten rid of them. Probably for the best. Nope, doesn't look like you've got anything you can mush together.
Not at least emerald-wise. Make those.
I'm really glad that they switched the old Herodric cube system out for this kind of thing.
Oh, well, so if I want to equip it, then I go
down to the bag.
Here, and I want the topaz because that's the resource cost reduction. Use one of these guys on this.
Yep.
And that's it?
Yep.
There we go.
Alright. And then I think we actually just go back here. Oh, right. Portal. The fact that they get away with, like, no load times on the Switch is ridiculous, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't really watch a whole lot when I was playing Monster Hunter World, right?
No.
Oh, hello.
Not at all. Ooh.
Minions is nothing I loathe more than failure. You know this well. But if any of you need a further lesson, I will have you delivered into the circle of wrath with great haste. The enemy is strong, but he cannot pass the demon gate. Secure it, or your lives will be forfeit.
A power.
I do not need my siege weapons to slay you. You stand in the middle of the army of hell. It will crush you.
You waste.
I really like Asmodean's speeches.
Demon.
Yeah, but the demons sound cool. But yeah,
It's more just the, you know, you will be forfeit.
he gives speeches. If you were a villain, you would give speeches like him.
Mm-hmm. Well, because they're awesome.
I want to write a Sentai book someday. That'd be fun.
Where you have an overly verbose villain.
Yeah. And then, like, an actually competent villain afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Monster Hunter World was, like, mild torture the entire game. Because... But these are, like, landmines. That's neat. It was, like, mild torture playing the game to some degree, because... Oh, hi, Tyrael.
Oh, Tyrael.
I could no longer sit idly by while you brought the fight to Asmodan. It has been too long since I felt the thrill of battle myself.
Destroying my siege weapons makes little difference. Every hour, more of my forces pour forth from the mouth of hell. Soon, they will wipe your pathetic keep from existence.
Brave words, Asmodan. But words are all you have left to hurl at us. Forward, friend. Now we shall drive Asmodan's army back into the accursed crater.
There we go. But yeah, playing Monster Hunter World on PS4 was mild torture to some degree. It was a great game, it was really fun, but it's not enjoyable playing a game with like multi-minute long loading screens. Like, I could get up and go to the bathroom sometimes before loading screens.
And you can come back.
Yeah. Oh, I'm being maybe a little bit hyperbolic here, but it really did feel like that sometimes. It's just like, yeah, this is a long loading screen. Grizzly Force, nope. And so, playing this on the Switch, there's something up here. Or not, I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know which way is progress and which way
this is not progress. I don't think.
Frozen.
But there's these guys here.
Bunch of little imps.
That needs to recharge.
And frozen again.
Yeah, these guys are leaving little frosty mines for us to not enjoy. They're so beefy.
I must wait longer.
Okay, there they go. There they are. Man, those things are too beefy. I think there's just a chest up here.
Probably. It's just a dead end. An armor stack.
Wow. That was worthless.
Nope. They look like white items, too. Or colorless.
But yeah, so the Switch, you know, kind of going back to the whole thing of... The Switch is the only platform where they actually optimize games for size because of the hard drive space.
So working under smaller constraints actually...
It's both good and bad.
Whoa, what's
obviously,
that?
I think that's just
one of the barfers.
Yeah, it's the troop carrier thing. Again. You know, it's kind of good and bad. Because on one hand, this game does not look nearly as good on the Switch. And doesn't technically perform as well. But, I mean, honestly, like, whatever. To some degree, like, the differences are minor unless you're really staring at things and, like, doing... You're doing, like, direct comparisons, which I'm sure, like, tons of people have been like...
At the same time, do games have to have really extensive 3D work in order to look good. And that's the thing. Like, the reason why there are some older games that have held up is because of that stylization you keep referring to.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
that would influence size as well.
Stylization is, for the past 2 generations, stylization has been absolutely more important than raw quality.
Yeah. Well, you know, I suppose you shouldn't say quality so much as realism.
Yeah. Sorry.
Realism.
Fidelity. How about fidelity as the word?
The grave beckons.
Because, you know, you can have 4K resolutions, but if it don't look good, no matter how many polygons you've jammed into a 3D,
even see at 4K resolution.
Yeah.
Which is silly. I remember watching some videos about, you know, is it worth it to get 4K screens and such, or have something that plays at more than a certain frames per second.
I feel a bit crispy around the edges, but I'm fine now, thanks to you. Let's go!
And they were trying to explain that you can't actually see at this resolution or at this frame rate.
Yeah, I think like past 60 FPS, it really is just like the minor differences.
Mm-hmm.
You can notice generally when the frame rate will shift. You know, if there's a dip, you'll notice it becomes slightly less smooth. But that's usually the extent of it all. Let's see, was the minute-long loading screen Monster Hunter World with the SSD? No, that was just the base PS4's hard drive. I've got it on an SSD on PC, and boy does it load quick. To the point where I barely even see loading screens anymore. It's incredible. I'm actually really glad, I don't know if you've heard, but Microsoft is starting to treat PC as a first-party platform again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, recently had Sunset Overdrive release on PC at long last. You know, it being this
well, is it because they're in a way acknowledging that Xbox isn't as, I mean, they have the operating system for most computers aside from Macs.
Yeah, and Mac's not a competitor for gaming
video
on
games,
PC.
No.
You know, there's a little bit here and there for like gaming on Linux, or a little bit here and there for like Linux or Mac, but otherwise it's straight PC all the way. And yeah, it baffled me a little bit that they even made Xbox to begin with, because they could have really... I think Microsoft is beating themselves up a little bit for not being Steam. Because if they had become Steam before...
If they had made an online store first, and a library for all of the games that they have released on their operating system...
They would have been making so much money, but they made a bad one and, like, jammed it full of a bunch of garbage. And then no one cared.
Yeah, and really the only series they took off of PC was Halo.
Well, Halo was originally an Xbox exclusive, but they just had
then they
made
put
a
it
PC
on.
port.
Then they put it on PC.
And it was actually really good. Like Halo 1 on PC was awesome. I actually had trouble going from Halo 1 on PC to Halo 2 on Xbox because it didn't feel good.
Well, I still think that PCs are superior when it comes to shooters.
Well, absolutely. It's really awkward.
Sticks are awkward to...
There's a couple of games that I've played where like the shooting ain't so bad. But it's usually stuff like
Is this my blood?
That foe will die.
Well,
uh-oh. Wait, but who are we supposed to
it was a
with?
guardsman just dying outside the door.
Oh. Is this my blood? Oh, poor guy.
But, you know, I like the idea of them doing this, and I hope Microsoft kind of commits to it, which is using the Xbox as kind of like a miniature PC with video games. You know, for people that don't want to shell out, you know,
Thousands
couple $1,000s
for a gaming PC.
And so, you know, have the Xbox be the reliable thing, cost $200-300, put a bunch of games on it. That would be brilliant, but then actually support PC. Unfortunately, they're not there yet.
Stand before El Druid.
Because,
Skull Crusher.
Oh, Tyrael's with us.
Yeah, he has been.
I didn't notice. It's kind of hard to tell through the...
Give it more time.
Through the massive dudes. Clean up all these
don't
bodies.
doubt it. Sometimes I cannot discern friend from foe. We're all just sort of clumped together.
That's why I went with the scythe move and just walked towards the nearest cluster and just start swinging. It's got range. I'll just be happy when they finally add, like, the Halo collection on PC. The day they do that, I'm buying 2 copies and we're playing through the games.
And then we're probably going to give our Xbox One away.
No. So, the one benefit of having the Xbox right now that no other platform has is backwards compatibility. They've got a massive...
does?
Yeah, they've got a massive amount of old games. So, like, for example, if we ever wanted to play the Metal Gear Solid games, which, like, I actually would like to.
And I thought PlayStation had actually gone away from the whole backwards compatibility thing, and that's why there were 2 versions of it. I remember there were some guys down the hall in college that were boasting that they had one of the...
PS3 Slim versus Fat. The Fat had backwards compatibility.
Yes, yeah, they had one of the fat ones.
I was actually really disappointed that the PS4 didn't have any, but there's a very distinct reason why they didn't, which is the PS3 was a nonsense machine, and developing for it sucked, and trying to have the internal hardware to play PS3 games wouldn't have worked. But yeah, I'm really crossing my fingers that Microsoft kind of figures their stuff out further. Because yeah, I like a number of Microsoft exclusives. Especially now that they're picking up In Exile and Obsidian.
Oh yeah, they picked up Obsidian. Obsidian, they made KOTOR 2.
Obsidian made KOTOR, Neverwinter Nights, Pillars of Eternity, Tyranny.
So they're known for their...
They're known for making their good but flawed games that probably would have been amazing had they had the time, budget, and better management. Because Obsidian's always had kind of bad management that, like, gets them really bad deals. And so they didn't really, like, get the ground underneath them until they started going to Kickstarter. And even then, I've heard that the management...
What did they kickstart?
Everything after Pillars of Eternity 1.
The edge of the abyss.
Eldruin will destroy the demonic seal protecting this gate.
The 2 ferrets. Right. Oh. They got buried.
Tyrael is not impressed. Tyrael runs backwards slightly. Engage the boater party!
Siegebreaker, Assault Beast.
Oh, he's taking bites out of me.
There's more of these Belchers.
I like it how he doesn't even do damage to me. I was actually really worried going in and cranking up the difficulty like this.
Oh, more Belchers.
We'd actually be we'd be getting like hammered by enemies. But no, it actually seems like they're pretty weak.
I don't even know if I'm really helping take these 2 things down.
Will help me take out the Siegebreaker?
I suppose the Siegebreaker is the major boss. The other things are just adding to the mayhem with all of their ads.
Yeah, we can clean them up together.
They're minions.
I just figure if we can take this dude out, it'll get faster.
Because that's what an ad is.
Where
it's
am I?
a smaller
I'm over here.
creature that accompanies a much larger one.
Maybe I should try Bone Spear. I don't know.
The beast is slain.
Oh, did the other ones just release from the ledges? Then
Yeah.
it really was the strategy to get this guy down first. Anyway. Adria.
I come with urgent news. Leah has had another vision. A vision of twisted demonic towers and enormous hearts beating within them.
I know of them. They are the Sin Hearts. Asmodan must have dredged them up from the depths of his realm to empower his legions.
Then I must destroy these hearts while I still can.
But yeah, so they also picked up Ninja Theory.
Oh, I've heard of them.
The people that made DMC, Devil May Cry, Enslaved Odyssey to the West.
Oh, yep. Which you never
Hellblade.
put up because of the cutscenes.
Because no cutscenes. Like, what am I even gonna do with that to some degree? What is this?
I really liked that playthrough
we came in. Yeah, I liked that game. It was fun. I still have all the footage, but yeah, the cutscenes were all busted. And so I could just put it up the series anyway and just be like, it's a thing. It does interest me that Microsoft is picking up a lot of the CRPG studios. You know, In Exile made the Torment Tides of Numenera game.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I am close to Azmodan, and his desperation is clear. Whatever vile contraptions he uses to aid his army will not be enough to protect him from me.
They also made the Wasteland games. Which, speaking of, I believe I've heard Wasteland 3 is going to be...
You've killed one of my playthings. Now, you have my undivided attention.
I actually really enjoyed Divinity Original Sin 2. You know, obviously it became a bit of a slog, and there were definitely some hitches. But, you know, I was rewatching, well, rewatching it, sort of. I was watching Ash and Jazz from Stumped play it. And, like, that game looked like a really nice game to just co-op together. I think 4 people is too much for a CRPG. But I think 2 is kind of perfect.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually
I just like the fact that I was right about the elves.
Maiden of Lust, I have need of your ample services. Drag yourself out of whatever corner of the burning hells you lounge in, and bring your daughters with you. Be wary. The enemy has proven to be both cunning and strong. But the mortals have always been easy prey for you, have they not?
What, so is this... what was her name? Sidrea or
something like that? I'm not entirely sure.
Something... She must be some kind of succubi or entity of lust.
But yeah, so, I don't know. I'm actually... I know a lot of people are on, like, the wall about Microsoft picking up, Obsidian and stuff.
I think what people might really be concerned about is just monopoly.
Yeah, yes and no. I guess at the same time, I'm hoping that it's kind of one of those where
this will be a challenge.
They've had years to learn and kind of know that that, you know, these are some mistakes that other companies have made and we have made in the past. Let's learn from them. Because, you know, this is not the first rodeo of Microsoft buying out a bunch of studios. Because they gutted Rare. Like, Microsoft bought Rare and ruined it as a company. And then I think that was one of their, like, last major acquisitions, question mark?
Yeah, because I remember they had released that Banjo-Kazooie game for the Xbox, and it just didn't seem like it was anything akin to the original nature of the games.
And I'm tentatively like optimistic with a lot of these things, a lot of these games, or game developers, because like Obsidian, for example, seems like a bunch of game developers that were forced to a bunch of game developers that were forced to, you know, actually run a studio and couldn't really figure out how to do it well, and didn't have the budget to keep the studio going for anything that they wanted to make. You know, they had big dreams, but not the funding to make it. Because like, Fallout New Vegas is arguably the best Fallout game, period.
The night embraces you,
and you know, it's a darn shame that that it almost killed the studio in the process, because they didn't get the monetary bonus, because they were 1% off on the reviews. And which, speaking of, by the way,
what
at this
do you
point,
mean
it's
by
gone past that.
1%?
I think they had to get like a 90-something%, like a 93
or else they'd
94.
be considered a failure.
Yeah, and
really?
and effectively,
there's no margin.
Yeah, Bethesda was just like, well, you're off by 1%. No big bonus for you. And then, of course, you know, a year later they go well past that percentage or something like that. It was dumb. And they're also only given like 18 months to release it and a bunch of other garbage. And so that was kind of the last time they really, well, they did a couple other tie-ins, because they're the ones that made the first South Park game. Stick of Truth, which is fantastic, even though you would hate
Yeah.
the heck out of it. But it was still, you know, amazing.
It's just unfortunate because it's one of those things where you are seeing a bunch of small studios that have these, I don't necessarily want to call them...
Nope.
Oh.
God damn it. Sorry, he was going to say something, but me pressing any of my attack buttons interrupts his dialogue.
Ouch.
So, hey, I want to summon monsters. I want to revive things. I pretty much can't press any of my face buttons apart from the attack button while he's talking, and say if I'm mashing the one button, I'm not going to have the reflexes to, like, really...
Was it a journal, though? We can reread it, right?
No.
No.
He was just talking to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's dumb. This game has some...
Because he talks when you're in the midst of combat.
Yeah, it's not a problem on PC, but it's an issue on console, because, yeah, hey. Okay, it had to be an 85, and then they got an 84. Wow. And then I think it's like at an 88 or a 90 or something. Like, New Vegas is a much, much better review score than 80-something, if I remember right. At this point. But yeah, the studios have always struck me as you know, these game developers with so much potential and skill. I'm waiting for the person to start talking at us.
Yeah. Just in case. Woo, what's this?
I think there are these, like, really giant demon things that are, like, bumping around down there.
Mm-hmm. They look like it.
Oh.
These poor things live in eternal
Spider?
torment.
She is.
Yeah, she's a weird spider person. I forgot. This entire thing is like a giant, like, weird ring. And you kind of go around it a bunch. Anyway, you're going to say something about it?
Well, I was just going to say that it's unfortunately the nature of things. When it comes to small businesses, they have so many more hurdles to traverse when it comes to not only having, like, the ability to produce their works, but then also the manpower, the experience, everything. And it always seems like they create a one-hit wonder or two, and it proves their worth, but then I don't know if it's necessarily they just can't recapture the magic, or they're expected to do even better with the next one, and they lack the resources or the ability to fulfill on that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, fall from grace, and then big companies like, oh, well, we'll take you up.
Met my daughters, I see. Are you enjoying their company?
She's just going to be saying weird stuff at us this entire time.
Yep, well, these are her daughters, apparently. Well, you killed them. Those are
Yeah.
your... I keep firing on them because I think that they're enemies, and they were enemies at one point. But now they're yours. And it's one of those things, and then the thing is, they lose what made them
good.
A small, unique indie studio, and then they become just another IP to a big corporation.
For some big corporation. And I'm hoping that that doesn't happen. You know, I'm hoping they kind of end up like...
Because eventually, it's not necessarily the game makers that are valuable. It's the story, and it's the world, and...
Yeah. I'm hoping it's one of those where a lot of these publishers are learning. Because, for example, Call of Duty, you know, this titan of the gaming industry forever, people are kind of bored by it. You know, the latest one is supposedly like one of the best and got great reviews. But Activision was like, yeah, we're disappointed by it. And their investors are like, yep, it was a financial disaster. And it's like, what are you talking about?
I mean, quite frankly, there are only so many ways you can
absolutely
do that kind of game. I'm still baffled that they're able to sell sports games with a revolving cast of guys.
Sports fans are...
I know, but my brother, he has games...
Your presence pleases me. Every step brings you closer to my...
Embrace.
Embrace.
This will be interesting.
Yeah, because I wanted to resummon all my corpses. But what do you know?